Welcome everyone to my review of IDW Sonic's Bad Guys Issue 2, the miniseries that features, well, a bunch of bad guys. Specifically, former Eggman lackey Dr. Starline, mercenary skunk brothers Rough and Tumble, the shapeshifter Mimic, and leader of the Deadly Six, Zavik. Before I recap what happened last time, I should let you know that spoilers will be at Omega levels since this issue introduces a major element that's currently in use in the main book. You have been warned. Dr. Starline made plans to infiltrate Eggman-based Sigma, an industrial site that has what he needs for his long-term schemes. His first attempt ended in disaster. So, for attempt number 2, he'll need some expendable cannon fodder. He infiltrated Everhold Prison to break out Mimic, Rough, Tumble, and Zavik. To get them on his side, he said he has a plan to get revenge on Eggman. He also gives them incentives to help him out, ranging from disappearing off Eggman's computers, to free weapons, to placing someone in charge due to his ego. It worked, and thanks to their skills, the jailbreak was a success. We find our villains at Starline's base where he explains phase 1 of the plan. Their primary target? Power cores. Concentrated energy used by a variety of machines throughout Eggman's empire. When properly harnessed, they can amplify a user's physical ability. For example, in Zavik's case, having a red power core would double his strength. All Starline has to do is build and supply special adapters for them to use. All one needs to do is touch their EM casing. Of course, besides getting the power cores, most of this plan is a whole big lie, but they don't know it yet. Mimic questions how the cores will get him off Eggman's radar. That's where phase 2 of the plan comes in. It involves infiltrating one of the very few Eggman hubs. If they get control of that, they could control all EggNet information. Not only could Starline erase Mimic's files, he could also write commands that can turn the Badniks in the hub's region against Eggman. There are failsafes that prevent the entire Badnik army from getting compromised. In order to pull all of this off, they'll need the power cores. Zavik, who believes he's in charge, tells the others he expects complete obedience when he gives the orders. Starline gets a bit cocky in thinking he's in control of the situation, but he reels in his ego. Any one of these thugs is a liability. Mimic betrayed the Diamond Cutters to Eggman, Rough and Tumble could cause trouble at the wrong time, and Zavik, enough said. As you can see, the attack has begun. If you're wondering why the colors are more normal compared to what you saw earlier, the briefing was actually a flashback. The issue actually started with the operation in progress. Witnessing the bad guys in action solidifies Starline's decision to eliminate them when this is all over. With the front guard eliminated, Tumble tosses Rough and Mimic over the front gate. Thanks to the cover provided by Rough's stink bomb, gross, Mimic shapeshifts into an egg pond to eliminate the ones on top of the outer wall. Zavik overrides the gate and Tumble runs in to join the fun. Starline and Zavik follow in a truck to load the cores in. En route, Zavik drops this bombshell on Starline. Eggman won't take him back. Starline's ramblings on machines and Badniks just prior helped Zavik get some idea on Starline's true goal. Surprisingly, Zavik's not mad at him. In fact, he compliments him on his plan to try and control the metal virus and the Deadly Six. He just had one miscalculation. I assume it was the lack of hot air to blow into the magic conch shell. Zavik encourages him to break off from Eggman completely. If properly motivated, he could even surpass him. Starline, for his part, actually considers this possibility. But right now, they need to steal the cores. Before heading inside, Starline has Mimic change into Sonic to mock the nearest security camera, putting the blame on the Hedgehog rather than the group. That plan is halted by the appearance of a robotic T-Rex. Starline and Mimic aren't strong enough to take it on directly, and it's EM shielded, so Zavik's machine controlling trick won't work. Which means it's up to Rough and Tumble. The latter throws the former inside the robot and clamps its mouth shut. This allows Rough to unleash a stink bomb so powerful it destroys the T-Rex robot from the inside. That's actually pretty impressive, albeit a bit nasty because of the smell. I can see why these guys were able to take over Barricade Town. Even the others are impressed by their actions. While everyone starts loading the truck with power core crates, Starline alters the footage to make sure they weren't here. After leaving evidence of Sonic's spin dash, the group drives off. Later, Eggman arrives to inspect the site. He senses something's off based on the recovered footage of Sonic. The editing is sloppy, so he rules out Tails, and he will begin investigating the real culprits. Back at his base, Starline puts the finishing touches on his replacement to his warping gem, something that makes him very fast, allows him to make great leaps, and provide him with strength. May I introduce you to the Tricore. The issue formally introduces another game gimmick to the comic continuity: Power Cores. Introduced in Sonic Heroes, the Power Cores were power-ups for a specific member of a 3-person team. The blue cores would go to the speed character, the yellow cores would go to the flying character, and the red cores would go to the power character. No mix and match allowed. If a speed character grabs a red power core, it would go to the power character. Yes, the red power core is called Power. That's not confusing at all. I know for gaming purposes the colors and powers match the members of Team Sonic, but what is the comic universe's reason? Is it mere coincidence? Or did Eggman design them that way just to mess with the heroes? You decide. It would make sense they'd be in the comics since the events of Sonic Heroes happened prior to the start of the series. Though unlike the game, I would assume any character can use any core. Otherwise, Starline and the others wouldn't be able to use them. Speaking of our Platypus Doctor, he's got what he wanted so far, a means to take on the likes of Sonic, Shadow, and so forth. The Tricore. A unique core that can allow him access to any of the 3 core powers at will. Here's why I placed an Omega spoiler warning at the beginning of the video. If you wish, here's the timestamp if you want to skip the stuff going on in the main book right now. I'm giving you a chance. Okay, here we go. Chances are we've already seen Tricore Starline in action. The current arc in the main book has Amy, Rouge, Cream, Cheese, and Gemerald attend the Chow races. It's actually a cover so they can get in touch with the Chow Racing champion Clutch, who has a stash of salvaged Eggman tech. They need parts to fix E123 Omega. Also attending the Chow races is this mysterious hooded individual who followed Rouge and possibly kidnapped her. When Shadow spotted the individual, there was a display of high jumping, speed, and power. I think we can put 2 and 2 together. There's at least one clue that points to this person being Starline in the issue itself. Some people have pointed this out, but if you look closely at this panel where he's about to hit Shadow with a log, you can barely make out his feet. Those definitely resemble Starline's heel spurs. If it is Starline, it would explain Rouge recognizing him. She would have seen him aboard the face ship. And if he needed salvaged Eggman tech, tracking down the champion of the Chow races is a good place to start. All he needs to do is possibly hypnotize the guy into giving him anything he wants. Update: as I was recording this, the retail incentive cover of issue 35 came out, and it has the hooded figure with the Tricore glove. Unless it was stolen, I'm now 99% certain that this is Starline. I know at times what's on the cover doesn't usually reflect what's inside, but other times they can be eerily accurate, especially alternative covers. I have read that Bad Guys is set between issues 32 and 33, which makes this the second time the main series sort of spoils the aftermath of a miniseries. Issue 21 had Tangle and Whisper make an appearance while their miniseries was still running, and that issue made it clear that it takes place afterwards. It changes the context of the miniseries to a how they got there situation. It didn't exactly ruin the experience for me, but it takes the shine off the uncertainty factor, knowing things will work out for the characters. In the case of Bad Guys, at the moment, there is still an uncertainty factor. Starline appears to make it out with the means to fight the heroes, but is his long-term plan still in play? Will what's ever in the tubes survive the miniseries? Who knows at this point? Bottom line, unless there's a last-minute surprise, Starline is the hooded figure. Okay, welcome back all of you who decided to skip to this spot, and on we go. This is my opinion, but based on Starline's thoughts throughout the issue, I think he was affected more by his experience with Eggman than even he realized. Remember, his idol didn't live up to his standards, his property was stolen by him, and finally was tossed aside like he was nothing. And now he wants to try and conquer the world in Eggman's name in the hope he can return to his side? Say what you will about Zavik, he has a point. Starline doesn't need Eggman. He can become better than him and take over the world for himself. Plus, we need more independent villains in the comic. We don't know if Starline will go down this road yet, but the seed has been planted. On a related note, it looks like Starline has a problem with relatable individuals. Even after the successful raid for the power cores, he's considered keeping some of the gang around before tossing out that idea. He wants nothing to get in the way of his long-term goals. To be fair on his part, the group is made up of untrustworthy individuals. I do want to commend Zavik for figuring out Starline's true endgame, and for him not being mad about it. In fact, he's offering the encouragement Starline needs. I doubt it's from the goodness of his heart, considering he also figured out he's been lied to about needing a power core adapter. Starline becoming an actual rival against Eggman would annoy the latter to no end, something that will please Zavik immensely. Other than that, the issue portrays the success of the power core raid, but Starline needs to work on his hacking and editing skills. Eggman will look into this, and according to issue 4 of this miniseries, he will confront them. There's also the problem with the group itself. They worked well together so far. However, as I mentioned last time, villain team-ups often go sour. And next time, we're going to see just that. I'll see you in part 3. I see Starline has himself a spiffy new logo on his truck. Yet another reason he should become fully independent, establishing your own brand.